Ruben Sim just exposed Roblox and you'll never guess why. But if you don't know who Ruben Sim is, they do Roblox documentary content on illegal/interesting things that happen on Roblox, and that actually caused them to get sued by Roblox before, and Ruben Sim might get sued again for something that you would actually never expect. But before we get into that, if you guys can subscribe to me right now to get me to 10,000 subscribers today, so subscribe. But yesterday, Ruben Sim uploaded a video that just might change everything. Roblox's lawyers tried to stop this video, and in that video, they talk about some crazy things that might change Roblox forever. But in the intro of Ruben Sim's video, he just talks about how Roblox's lawyers tried to make it so that video didn't come out.
I would have made this video a few years ago, but I was threatened that if I did, there would be consequences. Now I know what you're all thinking, and no, the Chinese government did not show up to my house at 3 a.m. Actually, let me back up. It was not a threat. Threat is a strong word with legal implications. It was more of a friendly reminder that if I followed through with making this video, there may be a cause of action for a lawsuit against me.
And as you can see, Roblox genuinely might take legal action against Ruben Sim. Now, I really don't know if they're gonna go through with that because their lawsuits recently have not been going good at all. Like, they've lost basically all of the lawsuits recently. And I also don't know how Ruben Sim doesn't think that's a threat. That is clearly a threat that Roblox gave him. Because the definition of a threat is a person or thing likely to cause damage or danger. Now, that completely just describes what Roblox did there, because Roblox would be the thing causing damage, because there's no way this guy can fight a multi-billion-dollar company. Considering Ruben Sim's net worth is $283,000, he wouldn't be able to dent Roblox. So my conspiracy theory brain is that they weren't actually going to sue him, or if they do sue him, they're just gonna bully him until he's just broke. Because that's usually what big corporations like this do to smaller people or smaller creators. But trust me, it just gets way worse in this video. Like this message that he actually put at the start of this video that I already showed, but I'm actually gonna read it out very quickly. Dear Mike, we have a situation involving Ruben Sim. Before I even address that, there was a cut between me reading that because I'm fucking dyslexic, so isn't that just great? I'm pretty sure the person that's named Mike in this is Law by Mike, the person that tried to sue Roblox months ago, with that video getting over 15 million views. And if that is Law by Mike, that means that could really help Ruben Sim if Roblox really tries to sue him. But hopefully Roblox doesn't sue him because that would just be terrible. But knowing David Bouzouki, he most likely will do a terrible decision because he always makes terrible decisions. He's literally the CEO that allows files on his app. But just watch this next part of the video because it's actually intense.
And the reason for that is because a lot of the information I'm going to show in this video came from a hack. 3 years ago, a Roblox employee fell for a phishing scam and had their credentials stolen and used to obtain internal confidential documents. Legally, you're not supposed to release documents that were obtained illegally, but there is an exception for information that has an overwhelming public interest. And part of this document leak included information about Roblox's deal with Tencent in publishing the Chinese version of their app called Luobu.
So basically what he's saying there is that he's not committing a crime, he's not committing anything, but Roblox decided to threaten him anyway because he threatened to make this video. Because what he just said is it had a lot of public interest, and if he were to make a video on it, it wouldn't be against the law because it has a bunch of public interest. But the CEO probably seen that and was crying like a baby, so he decided to threaten him with a lawsuit. Because David Bouzouki has no idea what to do to save his public perception, so he decided to just ruin it even more. And trust me, he really does throughout this video. But also, it was probably like a 5-year-old that hacked into Roblox and stole that information and then released it to the public. Because if it's just that easy to hack into Roblox, they should really fix that. Because I'm pretty sure that's not the only thing that they stole, that's the only thing he can legally talk about in this video though. But trust me, Roblox will definitely have a problem with that later on in this video. But the next thing he talks about is actually crazy.
I'm pretty sure I'm within my rights to cover this because just days after Roblox sent me this email, Vice published a whole article about it. So I don't want to hear it, Roblox legal team. You already tried to sue me once, and let me just say Roblox has not been on a winning streak in terms of lawsuits lately.
See, that's the same thing that I mentioned earlier, because Roblox is really not good at suing people recently, because they literally lost $10 million recently. So I don't even know why they continue even trying that. And if they go after Ruben Sim, they better go after the article that was made on it, because that would just seem like double standards. Just because a YouTuber makes a video on it, you're gonna sue them, but just because a company that can actually fight back can make an article on it, that just makes no sense. That should not be how that works. Like, if you sue someone, it should be a thing that you have to sue everyone else that did that thing to make sure that you actually want to sue that person. But trust me, it gets even stupider publisher later in this video. But also what Ruben Sim ends up talking about later in this video, that Roblox was able to be played in China because they had a specific license that not a lot of other companies bothered getting, but that license wouldn't work anymore after a while, so they decided to get a new license to be able to keep people playing Roblox in China, and they had to pick between two companies to run Roblox because they weren't allowed to because they were a US company. And the decision that they chose between either company was stupid.
They would need to find a Chinese publisher. The decision came down to two companies. First was Tencent, the PRC's largest tech corporation. Roblox described them internally as powerful, dominant, and controlling. They were the owners of WeChat, a massive digital identity system with over 900 million monthly active users. They also ran the nation's #1 app store, which came pre-installed on nearly every phone. Roblox saw them as the fastest way to mass-scale acquisition, though not necessarily a sustained player base. Given their size and influence, a deal with Tencent would be lucrative, though it came with several disadvantages. Tencent was asking for full publishing rights. While Roblox would retain advisory and approval roles, Tencent would have total control over Roblox's servers and day-to-day operations, and would need weekly copies of the source code. Roblox was concerned that Tencent would steal their intellectual property and develop their own version of the platform, undermining their efforts in the country. A slide from their internal documents read, "Expect any executables placed on Chinese servers to be copied. Expect hundreds of people working on reverse engineering the code. Expect them to be successful."
But as you can see, there's a ton of downsides from them picking Tencent, but as I mentioned earlier, and you will see later on in this video, there is another company that they could have picked. But the downsides that they had with Tencent wouldn't have been with the other company. They would be more freeing, they would allow more control with Roblox, and they wouldn't just take total control. Unlike with Tencent, where they would have full control, they would be able to analyze Roblox code, and then there's a chance of them making another game that is similar to theirs that would directly compete with Roblox. Which Roblox should have an easy decision here and not pick Tencent and the other company, right? Well, just wait until later on in this video and you'll tell that is not what they do. Because Roblox gets overwhelmed with greed, where Tencent would be able to make it so Roblox was the most successful it has ever been in China very quickly, and they would be able to make so much money. But the thing that they seem to do is just overlook constantly on the fact that that would just be short-term success because they're fucking stupid, and they'd rather short-term success over long-term success, as Ruben Sim later says in this video.
The second choice of publisher was NetEase, a smaller gaming-focused company which Roblox described as down-to-earth, flexible problem solvers. Unlike Tencent, NetEase proposed a joint venture which would give Roblox far more control. They had previous success partnering with Blizzard and Minecraft, even securing partial anti-addiction system exemptions for the latter. NetEase also had more human-oriented moderation, whereas Tencent largely relied on AI. Given that Roblox already had major issues with its own AI systems, this would have been a major win for Chinese players. While NetEase's publishing strategy wouldn't give Roblox a player base as large as Tencent initially, players would have a far better experience, and the platform's growth would be sustained and authentic.
So as you see, there's an easy option here, just pick the other company. But the one big thing that Ruben Sim says at the end of that clip is that they wouldn't have as big of a success right away, and it would be slower, but over time it would grow more and more. But what Roblox really cares about is not the fact that the player base can be more comfortable with what they're doing, or that more people would even like what they're doing. They just want the money. They want more money, they want more people playing their game so they can even make more money. And that will be very clear later on in this video. Because if they really cared about the people playing their game, especially in China, where they're very strict on gaming laws and they're very strict on everything to do with gaming, they would go with the smaller company that they would have longer ranges of success and it would just grow more and more. And with the other company, they wouldn't have AI bots controlling everything, they would have people monitoring everything and making sure everything is going well. But I'm pretty sure you can tell which one they're going to pick, not the one where they have long-term success and faster success as it goes on. They're gonna pick the one where they have extremely fast success that ends up with a tragedy later on in this video.
Roblox returned from their August trip with the choice between a techno megacorporation who offered potentially massive short-term growth in exchange for total control, and a down-to-earth gaming company with a longer vision and more operational freedom. Within a year, they had made up their minds. Internal documents show that in 2018, Roblox's executives had picked Tencent as their publisher.
And now that they picked Tencent, they basically just signed a deal with the devil. Because at first it seems like it's just going great, and then it just goes terrible. Because now they're just gonna have AI controlling the whole thing, which is just fucking stupid. You should have people working on this because people will actually care more. And David Bouzouki is the one that actually made this decision, and I actually don't doubt that David Bouzouki is the one that actually made this decision. Because if you watched any of my other videos, you would be able to tell that he does not make the brightest decisions all the time. Like the one where he tried to add dating to Roblox, or he went on a New York Times interview just to freak out constantly. But trust me, this video has to be the worst video that I've made on him because it just gets way worse.
A document sent by the tech giant in November reveals the extent of the censorship requirements. No blood, corpses, or displays of horror. No glorification of crime. No tampering with historical facts. No images or names of any national leaders. No misrepresentation of Chinese territories. And no promotion of content that harms the physical and mental health of the underaged. This last one required any game where you could fall from high places to display a warning, informing the user that doing this in real life could result in serious injury or death.
Now that whole document is just controlling as fuck, because those rules are not on Roblox at all. Most of them aren't, at least. But in my opinion, there are some of these that are actually good rules. Or the one that says no blood or gore. I really like that one. That one should be a rule on normal Roblox. And another one that I also like is this one. Must not promote other content that harms the physical and mental health of the underage. And the reason why I really like those ones is because if they actually had those ones on Roblox in Canada and the US, there would be no or there would be no content that would really affect people's mental health on Roblox. And unfortunately, those are the only terms of service that I actually liked, because all the other ones are just too power hungry. And the reason why I don't really like these is because all of these things combined have a brutal and bad outcome later on in the video.
In the pursuit of greater profits, the company had wagered their entire Chinese player base on a deal that would become worthless if the government placed even more regulations on gaming. And on August 3rd, that's exactly what happened.
Authorities say they're making this move now at the beginning of the new school year to stop kids from getting addicted to online games. They're not the only ones who are worried.
For other investors who are still in gaming companies, is it effectively game over?
Just as an example, and let me just use Tencent. They're limiting a gaming time, for example, to 3 hours a week. I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you get an hour, at least if you're under 18.
But as you can see, 3 hours a day is not good, especially when you just teamed up with a multi-billion-dollar company that happens to be a gaming company that you could play on for hours. More of the story, don't be greedy and don't be a stupid CEO.